Okay, good morning, students. Um, so the day before yesterday, or I think 2 days back, we have studied some of the cryptographic algorithms in that symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. I have listed the algorithms also, and we have got the introduction about DES and AES and also RSA. Just I want long form of DES. Please type in chat box. Yes, students. Are you there? Yes, participants. Hello, Chaitali. Hello, Chaitrali. Hello, Chaitrali. Hello. Hello. Hello, Chaitali. Are you able to hear me? Chaitrali. Hello, Chaitrali. Is there anyone who can hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. I've sent PPT to Chaitali because she is the host. So she need to share this presentation because I'm not the presenter right now. Meera, are you there? Meera, are you there?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I've sent the PPT to Chaitrali. I think she cannot hear me. I don't know.
Okay, I'll make her a presenter then. Wait, ma'am. Chetrali, ma'am.
So Meera, I have sent the PPT to Chaitrali. She need to share. Then I'll start.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Meera? Okay.
येस मॅम ऍक्च्युली मॅमचा आवाज नाही येतोय सो मॅम डिरेक्टली शेअर स्क्रीन करतात.
Okay. But you told her no that I have sent.
हो मॅम करतायत आता.
Okay. Yes. Execute. Yes, Chaitrali, execute this PPT. Chaitrali. Hello, Chaitrali. Hello, Mira.
येस मॅम.
चैत्रालीला
येस
सांग ना
मॅम
एक्झिक्यूट करून.
सांगते. हो हो. हॅलो.
मीरा काय झालं?
त्यांना व्हॉइस नाही जातोय मॅम. चैत्राली मॅमला. हा आता झाले मॅम. येस.
Okay. Okay, good morning everyone. So in the last session, we studied different cryptographic algorithms, symmetric and asymmetric. So we studied DES. So DES is symmetric algorithm where we use a single key for encryption and decryption. Similarly, some advancement and some of the security features are improved in AES. That is also symmetric key cryptography. Next, we studied asymmetric key cryptography where two different keys were used. and the keys are known as, one is public key and another is private key. So while using this asymmetric key algorithm, user has two keys. So every user has a pair of two keys. One is public key and private key. Public key he publishes to everyone. So everyone who wants to communicate with the user will know his public key and use his public key to encrypt the message. And the user decrypt that message using its private key. This is the concept of asymmetric key algorithm. Public key is published and private key is kept as secret. So I hope no audio. No audio, Chetrali, Meera.
Ma'am, you're audible, but I don't know for a few of the participants, maybe because of today's weather.
Okay,
Some
some
will
participants
disconnect.
please type yes if I am audible. Use chat box to respond. So that will be come to know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So audible. Yeah. Yes. Thanks. Okay. Next, Chaitali. So cryptographic algorithms we are done. Next slide. Chaitrali, next slide. Meera.
येस मॅम मेसेज केला मॅम त्यांनाही तुमचा व्हॉइस नाही जातो ऍक्च्युली असं झालंय आता
चैत्रालीला नको देऊ ना मग तू तुझ्याकडे घे असं काहीतरी कर ना तर तिला माझा व्हॉइस जात नसेल तर मग कसं होणार ना कम्प्लीट हे
माझ्यात बॅटरी राहत नाही मॅम ऍक्च्युली
चैत्राली
मॅम
चैत्र
मला
मीरा तेवढं चैत्रालीला सेपरेट कॉल करून सांग की ऍटलिस्ट म्हणजे ऐकू तरी येते की नाही विचारून घे
ठीक आहे मॅम चालेल मॅम ओके
okay. Okay, so next is hash function. So on that day we reached up to this hash function. So you must have at least idea about what is hash function, right? So hash function is nothing but it is an algorithm or a function which accepts or which has input as any arbitrary file or any length of data, any type of data, and some algorithm or the process is done on that data and a hash value is generated. So hash value is nothing but that it's cryptographic hash value or which we can say that this is the prototype of that message. So a large message will be converted in a small hash value. That hash value is also known as message digest. Okay, so algorithms you know, or that also on that day I have listed the algorithms. What were the algorithms? Can you mention the names? Which algorithms we at least know? Type in chat box if you know the algorithm names. Hello participants, am I audible? Yes. What did I ask? Just tell me which message digest algorithms you know. Type answer. Yeah, these are cryptographic algorithm types of cryptographic algorithm. Which message digest algorithm names at least you know. Okay, I think you don't know the names. Message digest, that is MD5. What is MD5? That is 5 is the version, right? MD0, MD1, MD2, MD3, MD4, and the accepted overall accepted version is MD5, message digest 5. And again some of the amendments were done, some of the again message digest size were increased, and that's why the next algorithm came in existence, that is SHA 1. Actually SHA 0 is also there, but SHA 1 is globally accepted, right? So SHA is what? Secure hash algorithm. Now what is this 1, 2, 3, SHA 3? Again different versions are also there. So let's see what is MD5 and what happens inside that MD5, how it generates the message digest from a huge text to a small hash value. Yes, Meera, are you presenting?
Ma'am,
Okay, slide is not visible. Meera, what happened? Meera?
झालं? मॅम
Ah,
मॅम टेक्निकल इश्यूमुळे मलाही काही करता येत नाही तर मी दुसऱ्या पीसीवर आता ट्राय करते नाही तर चैत्राली मॅम रिजॉईन होत आहे. माझे नेट ना थोडं पुअर आहे त्यामुळे मला हे होतं डिस्कनेक्ट झाल्यासारखं.
okay.
एक
मग काय
5 मिनिटं
करायचंय?
आपण
Wait करायचंय
5
का?
मिनिटं फक्त ब्रेक घेऊया. हा. Chaitanya ma'am, you are audible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, you can share your PPT.
Chaitali. Next.
Visible आहे ma'am?
Yes, it is visible. Next कर. ओके. आता मी नेक्स्ट बोलते ते ऐकू येतं ना चैत्राली?
हो मॅम, येते.
Okay, ठीक है. Okay. Now the presentation is, I hope, visible to everyone. Okay. So I hope without any disturbance we will be able to continue. Okay. So as I told, hash function is a function which accepts any input, any file as an input with arbitrary length and generates a fixed length hash value. That hash value is known as message digest. Some of the algorithms are message digest and SHA. Now what is MD? A message digest algorithm, there are versions as I discussed: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is globally accepted and having or providing so much security level and the integrity level. So that's why MD5 was accepted. Again, some of the attacks were probably happened with MD5. So more security is provided using more bit of hash value, right? So SHA 0, SHA 1, 2, 3 different versions came in existence. Now, what are the properties of message digest function or hash function? What are the properties of hash function? Important properties you need to remember every time. One is, I have listed here four. One is obvious, that is it is easy to compute hash value for any given message. So any given message will be given. H is, if you see in the diagram, H is any message hash function or any algorithm, right? And easily it produces a hash value. But what is difficult? Second property, it is infeasible to generate a message that has a given hash. Means what? If, see, the process is easy of converting from a message to hash value. So if I have a original message, I can easily generate a hash value. But if I am a hacker and anyhow I get a hash value, it is difficult, it is infeasible to generate the original message. Is it true with cryptographic algorithm? Is it true with cryptographic algorithm? If we convert plain text to ciphertext, we cannot convert ciphertext to plain text, or we can convert. Reverse is possible or not in cryptography? Type yes or no in chat box. Yes, it is possible in cryptography algorithm to convert plain text to ciphertext and ciphertext to plain text. But in message digest algorithm or in hash value or in hash functions, it is not possible, totally impossible, infeasible to uh, convert from hash value to original message. That's why this is more secure way of securing your data. So it is not possible to convert hash value to original message. This is first property. Next is what? It is infeasible to modify a message without changing the hash. Means what? If there is a little bit change in hash in plain text, there is difference in hash value. As we many times we discuss in previous sessions also. If I write small ab and it generates a hash value, and if I change to capital AB, it will generate a different hash value. So even case sensitivity is also there. So even if I change a little bit of the plain text, it will generate a total different hash value. So easily a receiver will understand that yes, the plain text has been changed. If the message digest, it generate different message digest, it will come to know that there is something or tampering is done with the input message. So small change in plain text generate different hash values. This is another property. And third is it is infeasible to find two different messages with same hash. So no two messages will have same hash value, as I told now, right? So these are the three main important properties of hash function. One is we cannot get plain text or original message from message digest, not possible. No two messages will have same hash value. And next is what? If there is a small change in message, it will generate a different hash value. Now the algorithms, as I mentioned, next Chaitali. Yes, if you see the slide, I have shown you. You can just expand it. You can just maximize the PPT from your side. Now, if you maximize, you will see some input is there, cryptographic hash function is there, and message digest is generated. Right? If you observe, different message digests are generated. But input in the first box, you see the input as fox. Next, you see the red fox over the blue dog, and you will get a message digest. In the third box, some change is there. Some change is there. Can you observe what is the change? Input, some a little bit change is done in the input, and that's change. Because of that change, a different digest is generated. Can you tell me in third box what is the change? Observe. Because of only that one letter, it is generating different message digest. Is it possible to see, or otherwise I'll tell? Yeah, exactly. Yes, Pradyumna said U is changing. So over instead of V, it is written U. And if you observe, message digest is different. In fourth box also, over, the spelling of over is shift or shuffled. OVER instead of OEVR. Because of this small change, it generates, rest of the things are same. But only this change had generated a different message digest. Are you getting me? This is what the main feature or beauty of the message digest. Right here in second part also, you see input is given as a single word, input may be given as a file, input may be given as a uh, image, right? So that any type of input will be converted in hash value, different hash values. So I hope you have cleared this concept of message digest. Am I right? What is message digest and what is the aim or objective of message digest, generating message digest? Is it clear? Chetali, next. Yeah, the algorithm is MD5. So whatever is that hash function, hash value, message digest algorithm, so much processing is done to generate from original message. See, original message is thousand and lakhs of bytes, right? If consider original message is thousand or lakhs or millions of bytes. But what is the output of MD5? How many bits message digest it generates? So it produces 128-bit hash value. So the 1000 bits are get converted in how many bits? 128 bits. 1000, 10,000 millions of bits. If input is there, large input is there, it will be converted in 128-bit hash value. So MD5 algorithm generates 128-bit message digest or hash value, right? And the certain process is there. Whatever, suppose 1000 bits are there as a input, it will be converted in multiple of 512. Okay, I'm telling you the process in MD5. What happens in MD5? Overall idea I'm going to give you. So input is of suppose 1000 bytes. It will be converted in multiple of 512 by adding and padding the bits. After that, four buffer or the variables are initialized as given in the slide A, B, C, D. Four is known as chaining variables. A, B, C, D are known as chaining variables and each of 32 bits. So total how many bits are there? Complete A, B, C, D. Yes, tell me. Please answer in chat box because then only I'll understand that yes, you are getting me. Four chaining variables are considered A, B, C, D, each of 32 bits. So total, how many bits are there? 128 bits. So whatever is the output of MD5, we will be getting through A, B, C, D. These are four chaining variables, right? Now it uses using 4 rounds of 16-bit operations on message block. So how many round it performs? It performs 4 rounds. But how many these bits are there? Each of this, see, what I told you that input is the multiple of 512-bit block. Each input is divided in blocks of 32 bits. So if 512 is there, how many blocks it will generate? It will generate 16 blocks of 32 bit. Okay, so many components are there in MD5. First is input. Second is these chaining variables. These are the two main things you need to consider. Chaining variables of 32 bit and input is of 16 blocks each of 32 bit, and whole process is done on all these blocks. We'll see the diagram, then you will understand. Next, Chaitali. Okay, next. One more. In this diagram, I will explain what is this. How many variables we have taken? 4. A, B, C, D. If you see in the diagram, 4 variables are there, each of 32 bits, and that's why it has 128-bit length. Now, certain processing is done. If you see in the diagram, you can see the block as process P. In process P, there are so many processes are done as per the round. If round 1 is there, one process is performed. If round 2, another process is performed. If round 3, different process is performed. Now what is there in process? You know the operations XOR and. So here in process P, if I consider round 1, so B XOR C and D, this process is done. If round 2 is there, B not C and D, like this. So for each round, different process is performed on B, C, D. Next step is what? It will be added to A. Next, third step, it will be added to M of I. M of I is nothing but our original text, plain text, first block of text. Now, how many blocks are there? 16 blocks are there of original text, each of 32 bit, right? So in third step, that first block is added with the output of step 2. In step 3, one more constant array was taken, T of I, that is added. Next, in step 5, it is shifted by certain positions. These positions are also decided in the algorithm. So shift by 5 positions, shift by 3 positions to the left, right, that is decided. After shifting, it is again added with the B. If you see in the diagram, it is added with B. And whatever is the output of 6th step will be new A. And BCD will remain same, and this is one MD5 operation, and this is what? This is one operation, this is one round. Now next round again same process is done. New BCD will be there, process P is done, but in round 1 process P was different. In round 2 process P is different. Whatever is the output of process P will be given to A or added with A. Next step in added with plain text M of I. Next it is added with T of I. Next it is shifted again added with B, and it will be new A. That will be end of round 2. Then round 3. So this is how it performs these 4 rounds, but there are 16 blocks. So total iterations will be 16 into 4, that is 64 iterations. And after 64 iterations, whatever will be the content of A, B, C, D will be considered as a complete message digest. And how many bits message digest we will get here after final output? Please type in chat box. I'm waiting. Yes, students. Yes, Pradyumna said. Yes, Pradyumna. So A, B, C, D is the final output of this complete process. So this complicated process is just literally go to the previous 2 slides. One more. Yes, here I have mentioned that what happens in every round. So step 1, the bits are added because we have to make it multiple of 512. Next, we append 264-bit less length of 512. We divide this 512 in different sub blocks. Now 4 chaining variables are there, A, B, C, D of 32 bit, and they are initialized to some value. Next. Next slide. Yes, process P is done with different calculations, and after this, yes, step 4, after step 4, it is said that okay, these are some mathematical terms. If you see here, x, y, z, not x, z, these are some mathematical terms performed in process P, because XOR operations and operations, these are done at this backend side. Okay, next. And after all these processing, output will get in A, B, C, D. Now, next algorithm is SHA, right? SHA 0, 1, 2. So now SHA 1 generates 160 bits message digest. There also we need chaining variables. Here in MD5 we have used 4 chaining variables, each of size 32. That's why we get 128-bit message digest. In SHA we need one message digest of 160 bits. So how many chaining variables we need? Already here we are using 4. As in SHA we need 160-bit message digest. So how many chaining variables we need, each of 32 bit? Simple question. No, not 6. How come? See here, A is 32, B is 32, C is 32, D is 32. Here we get 128, right? Then to make it 160, how many chaining variables we need? One more 32, no? Yeah, exactly, 5. How many chaining variables we need? 5. One more chaining variable of 32-bit size. Okay, next slide. Yeah, in the SHA secure hash algorithm, this is designed by NSA, that is National Security Agency. There are different versions. As I mentioned, SHA 0, that is original version, which produces 160-bit hash value. SHA 1, which is accepted by everywhere, and this was considered as more secure, that is 160-bit. SHA 2 and SHA 3 are the next extensions. So SHA 256 is also one of the algorithms, that is SHA 2. This is the family of hash function, that is SHA 256 and 512. Can you tell me what is SHA 256? What is the significance of 256? Can anyone tell me what will be the significance of 256? What it will be? What it is denoting? You have understood the previous concept. MD5 generates 128-bit. SHA 0 generates 160. SHA 1 generates 160. What is that SHA 256 may generate? How many bits message digest? Yes. So SHA 2, SHA 3 are again more secure algorithm because of what? They generate a higher bit hash function and somewhat processing is done. More chaining variables are added, more processing is added, and this is how it made it more secure. So these are all different versions. In blockchain session also you heard many times SHA 256 algorithm is used, or in the previous session also I told you to find out social media, different social media uses which type of security. There also maybe Instagram, maybe Snapchat, they may be using SHA 1, SHA 256, right? So because of this security level, these SHA 1, SHA 2 algorithms are used everywhere. So SHA 256 is used in nowadays in many of the algorithms, social based algorithms, or in blockchains also, right? Next slide. Yeah, if you see the difference in MD5 and SHA, which difference you can see? Instead of A, B, C, D, here we have A, B, C, D, E. Again, some process is done, right? Next, here also we have plain text boxes, constant array, and S5. You see here S5, that is what shifting the bits of A by 5 positions. So again, this type of processing is done on input, and finally the output will be here stored in A, B, C, D, E, generating 160-bit hash value. Okay, these are the main features of SHA and MD5. Next slide. So this is the thing I wanted to tell you, or you should remember what is the difference in MD5 SHA1. So most of the things I have cleared. As the first point is okay, 92 and 95. MD5 length is how many bits? 128. SHA length is 160. Okay, speed is faster than SHA1. Do you agree? SHA1 is slower than MD5. Why? Because of processing only, right? The chaining variable is extra, the processing is extra. That's why it takes little more time. But security, it is MD5 is less secure, SHA1 is more secure, right? So the number of iterations I told in MD5, that is 64. Number of iterations in SHA1 are 80. See why 64? Because 4 chaining variables and 16 blocks of plain text. So 16 into 4, 4 rounds, not variables, 4 rounds. So 16 into 4, 64. And here 20. 20 into 5, that is 80 iterations, right? So this is what MD5 is vulnerable to cryptanalytic attack, and SHA is less prone to cryptanalytic attack, right? So I think you have studied cryptanalysis, differential linear cryptanalysis, or cryptanalytic attacks. I will not go in detail. Okay, so this is what the MD5 and SHA and hashing algorithms. I hope I am clear up to this. If yes, please type yes. At least you got the idea what is MD message digest and what is the difference in SHA versions. Am I clear up to this point? Okay, thanks, Kavita. Okay, next slide. Okay, one important concept used everywhere, if you have heard, that is message authentication code, right? So again, it is similar to cryptography, we can say, but what is the difference here is what here the users or the sender and receiver need to agree upon a single key. See in the diagram, first diagram, M is original message using a key, similar key, which is agreed by sender as well as receiver. So that key is used, that MAC algorithm is used, and MAC is generated. MAC is message authentication code. Okay, now while sending, what is the difference in the cryptography and this MAC I am telling? Here also we are agreeing upon an algorithm and a key, but while sending it, we send MAC along with the original message to the receiver. Right? Now at receiver side, it will receive original message and MAC. Now at receiver's end also, as he receive original message, as he know algorithm, as he know key, he will also generate MAC, and he will check whether MAC received by the sender and MAC generated by him both are same. If both are same, that means original message is not tampered. If there is difference in MAC, that means there is modification in original message. This is the idea about MAC. Am I clear, or should I repeat? What is MAC? I will repeat. It is similar to the cryptography algorithm, but the difference is while sending it and while receiving it, how it checks the integrity of the message. How it checks the integrity. So one message is there. See the diagram. As per the diagram I am explaining. M is the original message. On that original message, MAC algorithm is applied and it is encrypted by key K. Now, while sending, I am not sending only encrypted message. I am also sending MAC, that is known as MAC. I am sending original message and MAC, both. If someone change MAC, so if someone changes original message M, what will happen? And after that, suppose hacker changes original message M and then send M and M dash to the receiver. Now at receiver send, M will be modified. There it knows original message I am, it knows the algorithm, it knows the key, it will generate MAC at his side also. But as the message is changed, it will generate different MAC. And received MAC is different and generated MAC is different. And this is how the receiver will come to know that, yes, original message is changed. Now here we can consider MAC as hash function also, hash value also. Now we can use this in the concept of digital signature. Have you heard the term digital signature? I think maybe in previous sessions. Yes. MAC plays important role. Yes. Yes. Thank you. This hash value, MAC and HMAC. Yeah. MAC and HMAC are the concepts used while generating the digital signature. Now carefully see the second diagram. Okay, how this MAC or how this value or this concept of MAC and HMAC is used to generate digital signature, right? Now, digital signature is used to verify which property, um, integrity or authenticity or confidentiality, digital signature. Which property it supports, security, which security goal it supports. Okay, okay, integrity, okay, and authenticity as well, right? How I'm going to tell you. Now, just you zoom it, yeah, just you zoom it the diagram so that you will understand what I am saying. Okay, original message is there, right? One cryptographic algorithm was applied. It is applied using K1, that is key. Encrypted message, right? Then one more time it is encrypted, but here we can consider here hash value, right? Okay, okay. Chetrali, can you go to the next slide? Okay, wait a minute. With this diagram, we'll see. Okay, sender sends a message, right? It generates MAC value. Apply hash. We can here instead of MAC, we can consider here hash value. So because we are going to see HMAC also. What is HMAC? Originally, that HMAC is used as digital signature, right? So instead of MAC, you can just imagine here we can use hash value to generate message digest. So sender, what sender does? It has a plain text. It will apply a hash algorithm and it will generate a hash. Now he can encrypt that hash also, and he will send original hash value and encrypted hash value to the receiver. At receiver side, as he know which algorithm is used for decryption, right? And which algorithm is used for getting the getting the message digest, because he cannot reversely take the plain text, right? So while sending, the sender sends original message and its message digest, encrypted message digest. Now at receiver side, first he will do what? Decryption. Are you getting me? He will do decryption and he will get the message digest. As he has original message, he will encrypt, he will apply the message digest algorithm and generate message digest. Here at this end, he will check whether received message digest and generated message digest both are same. If both are same, then what is the meaning of this? No tampering is done, no modification is done. But both are not same, that means someone has changed, integrity is violated, and may some another person has sent it, authenticity is also violated. So the here in digital signature, what is there? Whatever is the message, it is hashed, its hash value is generated and it is encrypted. Now I'll give my example. I'm the user. I want to send my document digitally signed by me. Right now, what I'll do? My original message M is there. I will MD5 or SHA. I will generate message digest. Now I will encrypt that message digest with my private key. Now on the same day, I gave the example of Chaitrali. Now I want to send this document which is digitally signed by me. Means what? Digitally signed by me means what? I have encrypted my document with my private key. Now I sent it to Chaitrali. Chaitrali has my public key, right? Now what I'll send to Chaitrali? I will send original message and my encrypted hash value. Are you getting me? Now Chaitrali has original message and my digitally signed value. Now what she will do, as my document is digitally signed by me, that is encrypted by my private key, she will decrypt it by my public key. And whatever MAC she will get after decrypting, that she will compare with the original message digest. Now she at her end also she will calculate message digest from original message and decrypted message digest. If both are same, then the message is authenticated. Otherwise, no. This is what digital signature. Digital signature also uses private key and public key pair. Are you getting me? I hope I'm clear to this. Is it so? Okay, next. Yeah, last time I told you to complete this assignment. Just give me the answer here. I told you to find out which of the security algorithms, privacy measures are used by these social media sites. I expect few answers. What Facebook uses, which algorithm it uses? So many things we share on Facebook. So which it need a high security, right? So which algorithm Facebook uses? Which algorithm Google uses? I expect some of the answers. Have you searched? Yes, participants. No one? Snapchat uses AES. Yeah, thank you, Shruti. AES, you know what is that? WhatsApp elliptical filming. Okay, nice. Yes. Any other? Google, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you have not searched yet, this is for your homework, right? At least go and see the social media now and then you are using. Every day you are on this social media sites. At least check which type of security. Facebook also same. Okay, so at least you check which type of security this social media provides, right? So AES, as it is one of the secure algorithm, that's why it is using. Snapchat is using, Google is using some of the algorithm, Facebook is using, WhatsApp is using. It is always given in WhatsApp, right? Okay, LinkedIn SHA1, right? Thanks. So I hope you know now the importance of all these algorithms. Yeah, ECDSA. What is that? Elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, right? So I hope you know till now what is the importance of. Yeah, Facebook is 256. Yeah, WhatsApp. Okay. Okay, thanks. Okay. Okay, thanks. Now, I hope you know the importance of algorithms. Next. Yeah, thank you, Ashutosh. One next point I wanted to cover is what? Cyber security and what is the need of it, right, in future. So, next. Just tell me in chat box, do you know what is the definition of cyber security? Type yes or no. Cyber security. Be fast because we need to complete the session. Okay, no. Any other answer? Do you know what is meant by cyber security? Okay. I consider that some of the students know what is meant by this cyber security. Okay. All of next slide. This is the definition I have written, that security is what we need. We want our system should be free of harm, free of theft, free of unauthorized access. Is it so? So we provide the security. Next. Okay. Next. Now there are different types of security, and you have gone through all these securities. So let me tell you. First, we studied what information security. In that, we use different cryptography techniques. I have mentioned. If you see this chart, you will come to know what are different types of security. So information security, that we provide security to our information, to our data. How to protect our data? By encrypting it. How to encrypt it? Using the algorithms. So cryptography is used in information security. Different types: DES, AES, elliptical, message digest, SHA, digital signature. All these terms come in information security. Next, network security. I hope you know this term also, network security. Vadali sir has already taken some of the sessions on this. I think he has shown you also IPsec. Katti madam also explained what is that IP security, IPv4, AH, ESP. Am I correct? Am I right? That you know this network security? Yes or no? At least have you heard the term? Yes. So the security which is provided at different network layers, because so many protocols, so many again methods, algorithms, encryption, decryption is done at different layers. One of the layer is what? Internet protocol layer, that is IP, and security is provided at IP layer. That is why it is known as IP security, IPsec, which operates in these two protocols, AH and ESP. Okay, I'm not going to go in detail of network security. Next is web security. You know that HTTPS. What is that HTTP and HTTPS? HTTPS is what? Secure website, right? Where SSL or the security is also provided. SSL is what? What is the long form of SSL? SSL, TLS, HTTPS. Can you tell me what is the long form of SSL? Yes. No one? Okay. SSL is what? Secure socket layer. So security is provided at this layer, that is secure socket layer. TLS is also same, the transport layer security. HTTPS is what? Secure web pages, where this we get this certification that sites are secure, right? PGP/MIME are the security provided to your mails, that is mail security. So this is one of the type, that is web security. And another is what? Cyber security, that is also known as IT security, computer security, where where computer or this internet is the medium used to do cyber crimes. The term used is what? Cyber crime. Cyber security is what? Providing security against these cyber crimes. So you need to know what are different cyber crimes are done, right? So the next type is what? Cyber security, in which it is dealing with cyber crimes. So some of I have mentioned that social engineering, cyber stalking, and so many things are there in cyber security, in cyber crime. Let's see. Next. Okay, these are the definitions I told. Next. Next slide. Yeah. Some of the threats, I think you are aware of all this. Just type in chat box if you know. Viruses, worms, Trojan horse, spoofing, denial of service, hacking, masquerading, malwares, spywares, and intrusions. I hope you know these terms. Yeah, right, right. These are all threats appearing at different levels, right? Harming each and every user, or harming to the organization, to the institute, to the society, right? So these are certain threats which are nothing but, these are the part of cyber security also, cyber crimes, right? So next slide. Uh, before going to the next slide, okay, do you know the difference in virus and worms? Virus and worms. Okay, I think it is taking too much time if I wait for the answers. Let's see the next slide. These are some threats. We'll be seeing some of the few cyber crimes in the next slides. Next slide, Chaitali. This is the common definitions, or many of the definitions are there. Okay, there are certain definitions given for cyber security. That is what, depending on cyber crime. Cyber security is security against cyber crime. But what is cyber crime? Cyber crime is any illegal act where a special knowledge of computer technology is needed for investigation and also to do the attack. It is also defined as any financial dishonesty where a computer is involved, any threat to the computer, any theft of hardware or software is also considered as cyber crime. So in general, what we can say, cyber crime is behavior, any illegal behavior that targets the security of the person or organization. Also, a cybercrime committing using a computer or internet to steal any information is considered as cybercrime. So, any illegal activity done through internet, done through World Wide Web, using this communication medium is considered as cybercrime. And the security is provided against this cybercrime. Next. Now, what are different types of these cyber crimes? Again, what is different classification? I will explain few of this. If you know some of this, okay. Emails now, cyber crime against individual means any individual person can face which type of cyber crime, right? So, have you ever faced any of this cyber crime like spam mails, right? So many spam mails you get. Yes. So email spoofing means spoofing anyone's mail and sending the messages, right? Objectionable messages. Yes, right. Phishing. Have you seen any phishing website? Maybe, right? From bank also, if you get, maybe you have heard these terms in previous sessions also, right? If you maybe one message or one mail you get from bank that because of some security reason we want to update our websites, so please provide your username password, and unknowingly user clicks on that particular link which they provide, and it will divert it to them to a phishing website where it looks similar to the exact website of the original site bank, and if he enters his credential, the hacker easily gets his the information. So phishing, right? This is also one of the anyone. Cyber defamation. Cyber defamation means what? Defaming someone using internet. Spreading any defamable message about someone is considered as cyber crime. Cyber stalking and harassment. So following someone through internet, following someone in person also is known as stalking, cyber stalking, right? So many times you may have faced or you have heard about cyber stalking, right? As everyone is there on social media, in on Facebook, on here, everywhere, right? WhatsApp, Instagram, and everywhere. So the hacker misuse their information and get the personal information about the user and misuse that information to harass that people. Right? This is known as cyber stalking. Pornographic, all these are considered as cyber crimes, right? Password, guessing the password, getting the password of user. This is also cyber crime. Now, credit card fraud. Have you heard about credit card fraud? Nowadays, this is at peak credit card fraud. Yes. So we usually now the people do the payment with the credit card, and all the information about their bank credit card number is stored at the server, at the merchant server, and that server may get hacked. This is how your credit card data may get hacked, and that can be right. IP, intellectual property. Do you know this IPR or IP? What is this? Do you know this intellectual property? What are different laws of IP? If we break these laws, what are different punishments are there? So any illegal activity related with intellectual property means what? If I am inventing someone and if I share my idea to my friend and my friend no, if I have still another my friend also does this copyright also, but that will be not considered as his invention, right? Or patent, whatever. So it will not considered as his invention. So violating these laws, so certain laws, violating these laws is considered as cybercrime. So again, this is another different topic. What is IPR? What are different laws? So this is one of the cybercrime. Next, all of you know hacking. I hope you know hacking. You have heard many times, right? Denial of service, you know. Do you know, or should I? Otherwise, right? Yes, I consider that you know it, right? Password, virus attack. Can you name? Can you give me any name of the virus you know or you have faced? Any type of virus? Okay, okay. In 32, any type of any recent real-time virus you know you have heard in news? Any type of virus? Only one you know, Win32. Tell me, no, at least name of virus you tell me, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks. Ransomware, WannaCry, right? These are all letters, but there are n number of viruses. N daily, these attackers are coming with new type of virus. Right? So these are all, and this is considered as cybercrime. Yeah, cybercrime. Mail bombing is what? Continuously sending emails, their system down. Salami attack, Trojan horse. I think you know that Trojan horse. It is similar to that virus, but it will not harm the user. It will just monitor your activity and it will inform the hacker. If a hacker installs Trojan horse, yeah, right. Boot sector is the type of virus. Yes, right. So Trojan horse, what? If a hacker installs Trojan horse on a PC or computer and a user does some activity, Trojan horse will not provide any harm to that user, but it will monitor all these activities, username, password, or anything, confidential data, and it uh, to the hacker, right? Next is what? Terrorism, webjacking. So what? Generating fake documents is forgery. You see the examples of this also, or some person who are having carrying passports which are not legal, illegal passports. How do they get it? This again, some people are there who helping to do this forgery for this, right? Fake documents. Cyber terrorism. So terrorism is done or spread in the society with the help of computers, right? Physical terrorism is bomb attack happened. Cyber terrorism, what? Using this communication, using this internet to plan maybe that activity or even spreading of virus is also known as what? Cyber terrorism. Do you agree? Spreading of virus in the society, in the organization is also right. Yes, webjacking is getting the access of any other's website. So yes, thank you. So all these are cyber crimes. I have listed few. These are few, but n happening in the society. Right now, next Chaitali. The term you must have heard. Some of the cyber crimes I have listed here. That is, have you heard the term social engineering? This is also one of the major cyber crime. Yes. So social engineering, where it is mostly it is done by human based, right? It depends on human nature. What is done in social engineering? A person gain trust of another person, right? So when I'll give my example, myself is there, my friend is there, or a new person is there. A new person will talk to me very nicely, right? And he tried to become my friend. In few days, he or she will get my trust, and I may share my data with him or her, right? And after getting that access, after getting the trust, that person misuses my data. my information, but I am unaware of all his intentions, right? This is known as social engineering. So it is art of exploiting the trust of people, which is not doubted while speaking in normal manner. Imposting bank nowadays, okay, I didn't read. The goal of social engineering is to fool someone into providing valuable information to access their information. Okay, so social engineer studies human behavior and then attack. So social engineer or a social engineer attacker will study human behavior and then he will attack. Attack means misuse. There are again number of ways to do this social engineering. In computer based, I have mentioned that fake emails will be sent, pop-up windows will be there. Have you ever seen any pop-up window email attachments to get your data? Have you even gone through pop-up window? Yes, while surfing on net, somewhere a pop-up window. And for curiosity, if a user clicks on it, yes, then it is gone. Right? Your data may be hacked. Right? This is using computer medium. On human based. Human based means what? Talking someone, impersonating as a valid user, or shoulder surfing. Shoulder surfing means what? While okay, what if I am doing something on my and on my laptop, on my mobile, and someone is looking from my back what I am doing, what is my password. Are you getting me? This is shoulder surfing. Dumpster diving. Dumpster diving means what? Into someone's trash. In movies also we type of cyber crimes are done. Means what? Usually we have the curiosity. Yes, what is there in his trash? What is there in his bin like that? So searching in their trash and trying to get the confidential data. So all these different ways of social engineering, and this is considered as cyber crime. Next, next slide. Another is what? Yeah, it is cryptojacking. That that is also one of the cyber crime. And we need to see that in detail what exactly happens in cryptojacking. Just now I said mail jacking or web jacking, right? This is what getting access of anyone's website is web jacking. Maybe cryptojacking, maybe getting access of that confidential data. We need to see. Okay, another is what? Cyber stalking. As I mentioned that uh, collecting information of someone and misusing that information to harass that people, harass that someone, right? So again, there are types: online stalking, offline stalking. Online means what? Using again internet, email, chatting, communication medium to stalk or to harass someone. Offline stalking means what? In person following someone, watching daily routine of the victim and then misusing it, harassing it. So this is also again one of the cyber crime, right? So n number of are there, n number of tools are there to perform the attack, and n number of tools are also there to protect your system. In the we'll see next. Yeah. So cybercrime, we know phishing. So I have listed, if you see the list, there are tools I have mentioned which are used to do which type of attack? Phishing. Certain tools are used to create phishing website. Certain tools are used to detect phishing, anti-phishing tools. Right. So as there are phishing tools, there are tools, anti-phishing websites also. Right. So hackers use to do this phishing attack, and also anti-phishing is also done. So as diagram, you can see that Facebook, it looks like exact as Facebook page, original Facebook page, but this is not original. In the diagram here at the downside also, you will see both the websites uh, looks as same, but they are not same. How to recognize? One important feature, you should recognize a fake website secure or not. Hmm. Exactly. Thanks. Yes, Jaya. Yes. HTTPS is the secure website. Okay, next. Next. password cracking. Now, password cracking, there are n number of tools which are used by hacker. Within a fraction of second, he can generate a combination of passwords and he can guess the password. So it will not require 1 month, 2 months, 1 day, 1 hour to crack anyone's password. There are tools using which, or there are hackers or these attackers are there, within fraction of seconds they are able to generate combination of passwords and they can try it. This, do you know this brute force attack? Purposely I have mentioned. What is that brute force attack? That is what, guessing different combination of password. So n number of tools are there to guess the password and also crack the password. So your password should be strong enough, combination of letters, special characters, lowercase, uppercase. You should not keep easy and guessable password like 1 2 3 4 A B C D. Are you getting me? So your surname, you should not keep such passwords, right? Your password should be strong enough because it will take less time to crack the password. Next. Yeah. Do you know this term keylogger and anti-keylogger? Yes. Keylogger are keyloggers are recording your keystrokes. So there are software keyloggers also and hardware keyloggers. In the first diagram, you can see software keylogger. If it is installed on your computer, a hacker will know your keystroke. If you press A, it will be noted to the it will be notified to the attacker. So whatever key you press, that key will be notified to the attacker. And if you are not aware of keylogger installed on your PC, then your password, your data may be provided to the attacker. So this is software keylogger, and in the next diagram you can see a small device, small hardware attached to your CPU. That may be a keylogger, hardware keylogger. Or a simple example I will give, ATM machine. In ATM machine, when you insert a card and you type your PIN number, maybe their software keylogger may be installed, maybe their hardware keylogger is installed. So you should be careful. So your key PIN number may get recorded, right? So you should be careful. Next. Yes, as keyloggers are there, there is anti-keylogger. So anti-keylogger, it is a tool that detects keyloggers installed on your computer and it can remove it. So as I told, there are antiviruses are there. There are keylogger, anti-keyloggers are there. As there are phishing tools, anti-phishing tools are also there. Okay, next. Next is steganography. I hope you know these terms, steganography, right? Where, do you know? Okay. Where data is uh, hidden inside an, okay, I'll explain. What is steganography? This is hiding data, again, hiding the data inside uh, another document, another picture. Now I have shown you the example. Both the pictures look same. But what is done? If you see this Mona Lisa picture, the original message is there, the original picture is there, but in the second picture, one message, confidential data is embedded in that image. So through normal eye, we cannot recognize whether a secret message is embedded in that image or not. But there is a secret message. So this type of communication is used at secret level. Terrorists may use it, right? They may use these code pictures and send confidential information through inside that image. So there are n number of tools to do this type of cyber crime. To do this type of n number of algorithms are developed to do these steganography projects and identify whether the data is hidden inside the image or not. This is known as steganography. Next. Yes, virus and worms, you know. N number of tools, again, I have mentioned here few, but many tools are there which generates viruses. And again, antiviruses, you know, that different antiviruses you use daily. So these are the two important precautions, or you can say cyber crimes you need to consider. Because nowadays every time, everywhere you are using your mobiles and computer and internet. So there are high chances of getting affected by viruses and worms. So you should take proper care. Next. Yes, you know DOS and DDoS. What is DDoS? DOS is what? Denial of service. DDoS is what? Distributed denial of service. Again, many tools are there to do this DOS attack that I have listed. You can go through the Google and you can also type what are tools used to do DOS attack, what are tools used to do phishing attack. Okay, next. Have you heard the term SQL injection? This is also one of the cybercrime, one of the attack done, right? Where SQL is that query language is used, and some queries are designed to get the access of website. Actually, this is used in websites, getting the access of web pages. SQL injection. A little bit change is there in query, and when we fire that query, that does this SQL injection attack. Okay, now there are n number of tools. Now I have listed here Nmap, Metasploit, OpenVAS, AirCrack, Snort, Wireshark. There are tools which are used to do all these type of detection, intrusion detection, to do attacks. Metasploit is one of the major tool used to do different types of attack. You can search on net also, right? So some of the tools I have mentioned, we don't have that much time to demonstrate it, but as these are free and open source, you can try it. Okay, next. Yeah, one webinar on this too. Yes, definitely. I can show one of the tool how actually it works to find out vulnerability in your system. Nessus tool is also there. Snort is there. Snort is nowadays it is paid, so maybe it may have some restrictions. But certain open tools are Nmap. All these are open source tools. So you can easily install it. You can demonstrate it. You can see how it works. Or sometime if I get time, I will have the separate webinar on these tools also. Okay, so, okay, next. These are all common questions. Next. Now, what are some key steps to avoid cyber threats? All of you know, and many times, or you have heard, we have discussed also. What we need to do, we have to use good cryptic password regarding password, right? Your devices, applications, antiviruses, firewalls must be updated, right? Up-to-date antivirus and spyware software should be there. Don't click on unknown sites. Don't click on any unknown websites, unsecure websites, right? Remember that information passwords and unencrypted wireless especially easy to hackers, right? So your password should be that much strong enough. Now, always trust that HTTPS. Yes, yes. So these are some of the key steps you should remember while handling this cyber medium, communication medium, internet. You should be very, very careful. Okay, next. Now, what is the need of this? Now, some maybe research, a lot of research has been done in this area in security, right? Intrusion detection. Okay, one term I wanted to mention here, that is intrusion detection. You have heard number of intrusions, right? One example is DOS. DOS only is nothing but what? One of the intrusion, denial of service, right? Or hacking, right? Some of the intrusions. So many techniques are there, many algorithms are there to detect the intrusion, to prevent the intrusion. So much study, so much research has been done in this security, that is intrusion detection using machine learning. So see, combination of these different domains is also done, security plus machine learning. N number of machine learning algorithms are used to detect the intrusions, right? Detection of DOS, DDoS attacks. What are attacks in WSN, wireless sensor networks? What are different attacks in WSN and how it can be prevented? Like man in the middle, replay, IP spoofing. Okay, how these attacks are prevented or detected, right? In cloud security, how this AES algorithm is used in cloud security, how anti-phishing is done using visual cryptography, using DES, RSA. There is a lot of research is done on steganography, individual cryptography, secret sharing, right? Blockchains. So so much research is done and so much is needed in future also. As 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 you see that nowadays we are continuously using this internet, right? For online sessions, for anything, we are continuously using internet. So our network is more prone to new different attacks. And if you have heard in news also, nowadays this cyber crime, cyber attacks have increased. Have you heard any such news? Have you heard any news that increase in cyber crime? Yes, yes, obviously, because I am also hearing, no, because of all this COVID-19 situation, everyone is online, everything, and everything is at risk, right? So number of threats are increased. So there is need of security administrators, security managers, investigators, attack investigators in future. Okay, yes, thank you, Shrishti. Next. So this is what somewhat slide I got, this analysis I got, that still many 37% phishing attack has been done, intrusion network attacks has been done, right? Next is what, okay, stolen devices. Then again, mobile attacks are done, Trojan horse attacks are done. So nowadays these attacks are increasing. Next. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you, what is the future need, what is the future scope of research or different security engineers nowadays, and where is the scope? There is scope in IoT. Have you heard the term IoT? Have you heard what is the long form of IoT? And nowadays you are hearing IoT, IoT everywhere, IoT, right? So as there is kind of things, yes, as there is huge increase of IoT network, there is need of security in IoT network, because everything is connected through wireless network. There is a high chance of getting attacks through wireless network, and that is I need to prevent that attacks. So there is future scope in IoT security, IoT with machine learning, cloud security, network security, ethical hacking, artificial intelligence. Now artificial intelligence is used everywhere, so this security is needed in all these terms. Digital forensic is one of the another branch of security. There is a lot of scope. So one statement I want to tell, that the future of cyber security is linked with information security. People are continuously using this internet and this social media and this information technology. So till that day, there is need of cyber security. So if you are interested in this domain, you can go ahead and get the information about different topics. And if anytime you need any type of help from me, I'm always there. Okay, next. Yeah, this is one quiz I have designed. So all of you have to go to this link and submit me the quiz. Somewhat easy questions, just
Ma'am, can we put this link in chat box?
I will not be able to do. Chat will copy and paste in chat box.
Okay. Oh, yes,
Okay?
yes. Chat.
So that's why I purposely included in slide, that I don't know whether it is possible or not. So just I request the organizer send this link to through chat box to all the participants, right? So let's see how much you have got the knowledge out of these sessions, right? So I think I have, yeah, thank you. Huh? Yeah, Mira, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Chaitrali ma'am, can you just share that link in chat box?
Yes, ma'am. Just sharing. Just a minute.
Okay.
Ma'am, should I continue?
Yeah, I'm done. You can ask whether all the panelists
Yes.
I think wanted to talk.
just wait. Okay, the quiz link is shared by the shared to the all participants. Please go through that link. Kati ma'am, shall we start with the validity?
Yes, Meera.
Okay, Saloni, you can start here.
Hello, everyone. This is Saloni Bokare, your anchor for this 10 days webinar series. During these days, we got massive response from various regions of the country. Now, I would like to highlight topics that we covered, that is, introduction to computer network, models in computer network, protocols at various layers, cryptography and network security, cryptography principles, network security, web services, digital signatures and authentication protocols, intrusion detection and cybersecurity, and the last one, blockchain technology, which I feel were very informative, application based, and enhanced knowledge for all of us. I hope that you would definitely like to participate in our various upcoming webinars as well. Thanks a lot, and I would request Dr. Katti ma'am to give vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Saloni. End is nothing but a new beginning in disguise. I thank all participants for your wonderful response for our boot camp. I appreciate you for utilizing this lockdown time for upgrading yourself with network and security knowledge. Along with this, I thank our principal, Dr. Prashwat sir, Dr. Chopde sir, Dean Academics, and PCET Trust for motivating us to take this boot camp. I thank Mr. Girish Gilari, Dr. Ingle, and Dr. Buchari sir, IEEE Pune section, and IEEE Computer Society chapter for their kind support for this 10 days boot camp. Pillars of this workshop, speakers, Professor Vadali, Professor Sonali Patil Madam, Professor Pisa Madam, and myself. I hope you all got the much of the information about network and security. And most of all, very important part of our boot camp are, they were the what pillars for this whole boot camp. I would like to take the name of our student who helped for this boot camp continuously for 10 days. Yash Joshi, Snehadik Kamble, Shweta Sawant, Shreya Kotavle, Gaurav Dulani, Nupur Kulkarni, Ashwini Tanpure, Saloni, Dev, Pranav, Shubham, Apurva, Shivraj Patil. Along with this, I definitely take, and I think very important name, Meera Thorat Madam, Lange Madam, Priyanka Madam, Sandhya Wagere Madam, Swati Jadhav Madam. Thank you all for this wonderful support. I hope if this support will continue, we definitely come up with a new venture. Now I request Professor Vadali sir to say a few words to the participants.
Yeah, well, good afternoon, participants. Well, it was a very wonderful and great journey during all these 10 days of the workshop along with all of you. If we talk about our journey about the learning of computer networks, from computer networks, that is the basic computer networks, till the implementation and understanding of the blockchain. Okay, so we try to understand, if we try to elaborate the things, then definitely 10 days of workshop would not be enough. So, because if you ask me about the network, being a network person, I would say that computer network is mother of all the subjects. No matter which subject you are going to opt for, whether it be data science, machine learning, computer networks, the basic subject, the database, the operating system, you think from that perspective, without a network, no subject is going to satisfy the needs. Okay, so that is from my side. In addition to that, I would like to thank to my organizing team, the entire organizing team, who supported a lot, because delivering us a session is one part, but organizing and managing the session is definitely is the most important and the crucial aspect of that. I would like to thank our management, our principal, and the special thanks to IEEE Pune section and IEEE CSI. So it was a wonderful platform, and to Cisco WebEx also. who helped us, who gave us the platform, okay, through AIEEE. Okay, so it was it was a wonderful session. And at last, I would like to thank our HOD, Dr. Sonali Patil, for the constant support and the guidance. Okay, so that's all from my side. Well, a good and great journey ahead to all of you, I wish. Okay, and in this mission of learning. So thank you all. Thanks for your participation. I'm handing over the mic to Katti madam. Thank you.
Uh, I think good afternoon, participants. One and foremost name, Dr. Sonali Patil. Without her, I think we would have, means her support is a lot for us. Okay, thank you so much, madam, and thank you all participants from my side. Have a great journey. Thank you so much. Saloni. Saloni.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please conclude.
Thank you so much, participants, for joining in. It was a great pleasure having you all here. We have shared the feedback form links and attendance form link. So kindly go through it. Thank you all for joining. That's it for the session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saloni. Yeah.